So, it was about a month ago that I made a post on the community tab of this channel saying that I would have a writing update. So, this is that writing update. Uh, I forget how long it had been, but so there was a period where I wasn't writing, and so with that, there was a name in the book that might need to be changed because some of these characters are completely fictional. Some of these characters are based off of my actual friends in real life. It's supposed to be like them. And there was one name that I was maybe a little unsure of. I was kind of thinking that it would be fine, but then I read like the first chapter with my parents and they said, no, that's a little awkward, too much. So I took just that first chapter and I sent it to a friend in question. And so these friends looked at it and they were like, yeah, if you can change it, that would be nice. And so I did. And, honestly, it was maybe a little confusing thinking about how I felt like things were, okay, and publishing this could be good. Or, I mean, if it's not necessarily going to be this huge, I'm suddenly super popular on the internet, people like my stuff kind of a thing, it at least would be something else good out there for people to read. And as far as like, quality, well, morals wise, it's not full of a whole bunch of dirty stuff and things in there. It's one more clean source of something that people can read. So that was a little bit confusing, but then I quickly realized that, some of the stuff that I was feeling, which I'm absolutely positive is Heavenly Father telling me that I am on the right direction with some things and that, I'm making good progress with this book and that it's a good thing for me to be working on. Again, not that it's going to be the thing that's going to make or break what I do online, but it's going to be a good thing. But I realized too that, he was saying things would be okay, not because I'm just going to put it out there as is, but because it would work out that, this name would get switched and changed. And so, I'm like, all right, so yeah. And it took me quite a while to actually think of a name for this character. I'm not mentioning who the character is in the book, but it took me quite a while because this is something tough where when I was young, I would say all of the good names that I know are names of people that I know too. But now that I'm older, I realize there's definitely names that I've forgotten. And there's like the other night, I think I was just thinking of like some random idea for a story or something, just randomly popped into my head. And I had a really cool name. I remember it ended in Y, female name, but now I can't remember what that name was because I'm like, that's actually cool. I'm not going to do anything with this story that I thought of, but I could use that name in the current story that I'm writing. But now I forget what that name was. But anyways, it was taking a long time to like find a good name because all of the good names that I like are taken. But no, actually, it's just there's plenty of names I've forgotten. There's names that I don't know about, and what else? Something else I had to say on this line. Either way, it was take. And also this kind of comes into a thing where, so if I use a name, it's a name of somebody I already know, and then maybe the character ends up being a little similar unintentionally, and they're like, "Ooh, is that me?" Well, here I can quell your thoughts right now. If like I'm actually writing you as real person as you are in real life, yeah, I'm gonna make disclosure about that. But and I know there are a few cases where I may make mention to real people, but I won't mention their name. It's like, hey, I went into a store I used to work at and, said hi to some coworkers. And I won't be like specific with names or anything. For that sort of a thing, I'm not going to, if I do end up deciding to put like more actual names in there, then I'll be like, hey, coworkers, I'm putting a character that's like you in my book, or essentially is you, and I'll let people know. But for other people who happen to have a same name as someone in my book, but it might be maybe their character's similar, I can easily say, no, that's not you. I would have let you know, definitely not you. And especially for the character that's changed, because what ended up happening is I ended up working with a person for a little while, and then one day, I just kind of I had an idea for something in my book, and they were a nice person. So we talked a little bit about stuff. They ended up subscribing to my channel. So if you know who you are, thank you. But then, so I told them just an idea that popped in my head for something that's going to happen a little bit in my book, most likely. And then, after a little bit, I was kind of like, what about their name? Not like them in the book. I'm not writing them into the book. This is not you, but just the name. You reminded me of the existence of this name, and it was like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot about that, but I like that name. So yeah, this is absolutely definitely not you, and if you think it is, I don't know why. It's not. Okay? It is. It is not you, but you did inspire this name, so thank you. And there actually has been something actually really cool with having this particular character be fictional, because some of the ideas that I've had are kind of like, yeah, I would feel kind of awkward if like that was tied to a real person. And it's like, are you sure that they actually like want that? And I don't want to be more specific with that, just because I kind of want to keep this which character this is a little more of a mystery, so then I don't have to like, there's no more questions. I don't have to explain anything. But yeah, it's nice having them be a fictional character, because now I can do pretty much whatever I want to with this character, and I don't have to, worry what's going to happen. Like, this is not in the book, but this is a good example. I think I mentioned this in a previous video. So one of my friends, I read him a part of the book that he's in. I've done that, and then I've read like one or two chapters to my parents, and that's it. That's all that other people have seen. Oh, and there's the first and maybe second chapter that I sent to my friends whose name was in question. But so I read this to him, and he was like, I'm fine with it. It's your book, whatever. And I'm like, well, yeah, no, but it can't just be whatever, because I'm writing you as a character in your book. Like, what if I had that you were in jail, smoking something that you smuggled in, covered in tattoos, and you're there because you went to rob a bank, and that failed, and you killed 3 cops with an AK. And he was like, yeah, no, that wouldn't be okay. So, point in case, I'm not writing that into my book, but if I were to do something like that with this character, they are now fictional, so I can. And I'm not planning anything super wild or crazy, but just little things like that. Or, having, well, I'll say this, because, I don't know. I don't think anything too bad will happen by saying this, but if someone were to die that was related to them, well, I can do that because they're fictional. I'm not like taking a person from real life and then writing in a fictional story, which from the time of writing, we are actually not quite, but close to some events in the book happening. Actually, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm kind of I'll get to that in just a moment. But so I can just write whatever, but if it was someone real, like if I wrote that their grandma died, even though it's like in the future or whatever, it's kind of like, yeah, are you sure you really want to, that just feels awkward to me. So it took a while, but I'm finally back on writing. Progress is going good. I'm getting closer to the halfway point where I'm going to read all of these chapters with whoever's in the house that wants to sit around and listen. And then from there, I'm kind of just looking to judge if, if there's anything that really strikes out as big and huge. Like they say, well, what about this? And I'm like, yeah, actually, that does seem like a big problem. Then, I'll change it. But it could be a thing where I just think, oh, no, that doesn't seem like as big of a problem. I'm not going to bother with that. So that's kind of the point that I'm at. And oh man, so many pages just keep getting added and added. But what I'm planning to do is, and this is like the halfway point of some stuff that's in my head. At least I think it's halfway. It could maybe be like 2/3. But so once I get to this halfway point, I'm going to read everything. And then I will start, probably around that point, releasing the chapters on my Wattpad. And then once that's done, I may take a little bit of time to focus on some other projects before I finish writing the other half of stuff. We'll have to see how it goes. I may write as I go, but there's a certain point in my head, and once I get to that point, then I am going to essentially kind of just sort of break the timeline and popcorn around to different events that I think are cool or interesting. Just stuff that's popped into my head that it's like, what about this? Well, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna write all of the stuff in between then, or even a fraction of the stuff in between then, because it's like I'm here, and this idea that I have in my story would happen like 5 years in the future. No, I'm not writing that much. But and I think it will be fun too, because then I'm still figuring out how I'm gonna like have to handle this. I'll probably have to have like this, this next little chapter or whatever. This happens before, and then mention some stuff in the main book, and then kind of set a scene for some of what was going on. Because I already do have one flashback in the book, and so I've done that. But I'll have to really, really do that. And I think this will be nice too, because I won't necessarily have to end the flashback. Like if it goes from one chapter to another chapter and it's they're not even flashback, but just wherever I randomly jump, if it's multiple chapters, great. They'll be kind of seamless. But then after that, then it'll be pretty obvious because I'll be specifying here's a new event, this time period, blah blah blah. So, anyways, there's your little writing update. It's been going good. I actually was gonna try and have a little more done recently because I was working on it. But then some stuff happened, and I realized there is a lot going on in my life that needs to be worked on, and so I just kind of have been focusing on that. But, anyways, yeah. If you guys are excited for this story, and well, for any of you guys who don't know really what this is about, it's a fictional version of my future, which some of it is kind of now, because I started writing this in 2020. So if you are excited for this, leave a like down below. Go check out other writing stuff. If I have a playlist for this, it'll be down in the description. Maybe I'll try and make a playlist of the writing content. But either way, that's it for this video. And, yeah, I guess, if you want notifications, then you could subscribe, click the bell, but make sure they're turned on in your YouTube app, because I'll definitely be talking about this again if things come up or when I finally start releasing the chapters. I'm probably also going to read the chapters aloud. It's kind of like audiobook style and post those as videos on here too. But yeah, I will see you guys in whatever's next. Bye!